Welcome back, everyone, to the best podcast in New York. This episode of the Assassin Cast is for the week of May 20th, 2018. Dan. I'm Jeremy
Got it.
Malaspina, accompanied by my co-host Dan McCarthy, the one and
It's
only.
good.
And we got a pretty packed episode this week. Gotta look through this again, but we're gonna be going over the following topics. In movies, we're going to be talking Ocean's 8 for the ladies out there. We're gonna give our thoughts on the concept, which I think it's pretty good. It's a good idea. We're also going to be talking John Wick 3. That was an announcement that was made this past week with a title called Parabellum. We'll go into a little bit more about that also. We're going to be talking the Happy Time Murders with Melissa McCarthy, no relation to the one and only
Nope,
Dan
done.
McCarthy. We'll give our thoughts on that. That
You ate a
Muppet,
few man.
right? That Muppet movie for adults. We will also be discussing Marvel's next Netflix endeavor, which is called Cloak and Dagger. I'm going to give our thoughts on that as well. And then later on in gaming, for you gaming heads out there, we're going to be discussing Sony's news on the PS4 entering the end of its life cycle. Which we don't have a link on that because there's no credible sources really. So
I still believe it.
we'll talk about that. We definitely will. We're also going to be discussing Battlefield 5, the trailer that was released, which looks pretty dope. Not gonna lie. Later on in gaming, we also are going to be discussing hacking of the Nintendo Switch. It has made some games unbearable to play online. So we're going to be talking about that. And to finish up with gaming, we'll be talking Mario Tennis for the Nintendo Switch coming out this
Yeah.
June. Before we go on, you got any news in your life?
Nope, same shit like always every week. Just
Oh,
here to entertain our viewers and
oh,
listeners.
right, right. Oh, you're a little under the weather, so cheers to
Yeah,
you.
been like that. Hopefully it'll get better as it
Yeah.
starts to get nicer out.
I agree. I mean, well, that's probably why you're sick to begin with. It just got hot all of a sudden here in New York,
Yeah.
guys. It's just like yesterday was about 80 degrees, I want to say. Maybe a little hotter.
I think it went higher. And then it
Yeah,
got humid and now it rained all day today.
right. And for our viewers that live on Long Island, the air show was canceled today. As of today, we're recording this Sunday. Oh, I don't even know what the date is.
27th.
Sunday the 27th. Oh man, what would I do without you, Dan? So
Yeah, that's what I'm here for.
and
That's what a good co-host does.
right, and we are not sponsored by Miller Lite. I just happen to be wearing the shirt and drinking the beer at the same time, so we are not
All we can
sponsored.
afford.
Right. Well, we can afford more, but who's paying for that? Not me. Not our viewers out there either. So,
No.
so here's to that. So, in my life, nothing too crazy lately. Just trying to keep on keeping on. Finally got a day off. Thank God. Thank fucking God.
Yep.
But that is what it is.
Yep.
So let's get into
You're working
this.
for the city. You get off every holiday.
Well, I mean,
Paid.
we got paid holidays. They didn't include Memorial Day for whatever reason. So they gave me the option since nobody's going to be there if I wanted to take off for work, and I said, you know what? We haven't had a day off yet. Fuck it, I'm taking off. So it is what it is. So that means this podcast is going to be on time. Cheers to you, our listeners, our listeners out there. You finally get one on time. All right, so let's get into this. First thing on the topic of the movies is we're going to be talking Ocean's 8. Have you saw the trailer? I think I included it.
Yeah, I've seen it actually a few times.
Right.
A few movies I went out to. But I was like you. I like the idea behind it, I think. It's a little late. Again, to me, it seems like another grab. Like they're like, let's get the nostalgia of the original. Because I loved the original. I thought it was phenomenal when they first came up with the whole concept of having all those big name actors
Right.
together doing the heists. And then, yeah, this is a great idea, bringing the women in involved with it. But I remember hearing rumblings about this like years ago. So I wasn't really shocked when I saw the trailer. They all talked about it.
Exactly. I mean, I think just like you, I saw the trailers a few times. I think once on a commercial, and I think when we saw Deadpool 2, we got a glimpse of
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
I'm
we did
pretty
right as we got in.
sure. Right, right. I think the concept is great. They're putting together a decent cast of a bunch of different ladies. I can't think of everyone off the top of my head, but
Oh,
it
Sandra
looks
Bullock.
like, yeah, well, Sandra Bullock, she's like Danny Ocean's wife, and
Yep.
I don't know what's weird is
Julia
she,
Roberts was, yeah.
Julia
Roberts
Roberts.
was, but she's not in it. It's like a completely different. I don't.
Is
She
it?
wasn't in it when we saw the trailer. Yeah,
Huh.
it's a completely. It's all off the place.
That's
I don't think
interesting.
there's any connection whatsoever from the originals.
So then, how is she related? There has to be a
I don't think there.
connection.
I don't think there is, dude.
No, she called her Ocean. They called her Ocean.
Maybe sister,
Maybe.
but I don't think the movies themselves are connected. I don't think there's anything that their other two are going to be involved in.
Well, I don't think
Meaning,
there's
I don't
gonna
think you're going to
be.
see like Brad Pitt, Matt Damon,
Right, right.
George Clooney making an appearance. Don Cheadle. None of them are going to be showing up.
Well, I guess we don't know. I mean, if they are showing up, the
Well,
trailer did a good job of hiding it.
yeah, unlike
So.
our other friends like DC.
Oh my god. Oh, we will never let DC like live on this
Never.
podcast. Oh man, I
Fuck
feel
them.
bad for Batman. Man, come over to Marvel, Batman. Well,
Yeah, right.
we love to have you over here.
Pretty much have him. It's called Iron Man.
Yeah, right. Shit, same situation. Never looked
Yep.
at it like that. But so for Ocean's 8, I think having this for you ladies out there is great. I'm not gonna lie. I think that all female cast doing some of the same shit that we're doing. Well, that men would do. I'm sorry, I got
Yeah, not us.
distracted. Yeah. I'm sorry, my battery's losing power. I might have to take an intermission for a second. But yeah, so I mean, I'm happy about the all female cast. I think that's going to be good. It's a good look. It's a good concept. It's a great idea. So I'm hoping that it does well. To be
Yeah, that's
honest.
better than Ghostbusters.
Yeah. Oh, it's definitely going to do better than Ghostbusters. 100%. I think anything will do better than Ghostbusters. The new one. It's crazy. I mean, you want to talk to him about it real quick? I want to plug the laptop in. Sorry, guys.
Yeah, it's just like the same concept that we saw really when we were doing the original Ocean's 11, where you're going to see a bunch of these girls now going to hijack. It looks like they were going for the whole Metropolitan Museum and to steal as much stuff as they possibly could. So from there, we'll be able to check out, like Jeremy was saying, a complete another different concept where we'll see all these female leads taking charge and actually progressing the plot line. But I think overall, it could be a pretty good movie, but I'm not sold on it as much as Jeremy is. I just think I'll have to wait and see, to be perfectly honest. I can't tell. I just feel like it's, again, like something we always talk about together, is that these movies are always just repeats of the same stuff. They're regurgitations of the same movies we've seen over and over and over again. So I do get worried that that's what it's going to turn into. But like I was saying before, right before you came back on, I love the idea of the all-women cast. I think it could be really good.
Right.
And every actress in that movie is phenomenal. But like I said, as far as that making it a great movie, opposite that fact, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's gonna do well. I mean, just for the fact that it
I
looks
think people
like
will
it
see
was.
it just for that.
Yeah, I
I
think
think
it was
people will
planned
see it
out.
because of the connection to Oceans.
Right. And we don't really, obviously, we were just talking about it. We don't really know what the connection is, but I'm sure we're gonna find out. Obviously.
Yep.
It has something to do with the same situation. So sorry about that, guys, for that little minor inconvenience. Not on top of my game this podcast. But so we'll leave Ocean's 8 at that. I think we'll figure out if it's going to be good or not when they release another trailer.
Yep.
So that's good. Maybe you ladies out there can let us know your thoughts on it. Maybe leave it down in the comments. All right. Next up on the topic list is John Wick 3 announcement with the title Parabellum, set for May 17th, 2019, which is next year, and Halle Berry to join the cast. What are your thoughts on that?
I love me some Halle Berry, so if anybody hasn't seen it, check out Swordfish. Horrible movie, but you see her topless. It's just for the people out there that don't know. But no, honestly, yeah, I think I love the first one. The original was great. Second one, I liked. I wasn't like, again, I always get more tired as we get more and more sequels coming, but I knew a third would come out, and I think it'll be just as good. It's just like a different type. I wish I could explain it, but that's like a different type of a movie. Kind of reminds me of like the Bourne Identity series, something along those lines, where you're watching a guy just kick the shit out of people, killing them.
Exactly.
So I
Yeah.
can't, But I said, I remember the first one. Yeah, once I saw that beagle die, he sold
Oh
me on
my
that. I would have killed
God.
anybody for that.
Word.
Pieces of shit.
You know what? I'm not gonna lie. John Wick, I love the franchise. I mean, it beats the
Yeah.
hell of fucking Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure.
Adventure. Oh,
Oh my God. At least he's doing this.
yeah.
And I'm happy that they're doing this because at the end of John Wick 2, you don't really know what's gonna be the next move,
Yeah.
for John Wick, because obviously he gets himself into some shit. So, he breaks the rules at the end of the movie and he gets casted out. So to have a third is interesting just on the storyline alone.
Yep.
And then you're gonna add Halle Berry. I mean, there's always actors or musicians that play a part in it. I know Common was in the last one. Um, who was in the first one? I'm trying to
I
think.
always laugh. The original guy in the first one, but you don't watch the show, was Theon Greyjoy from Game of Thrones.
Oh,
He
he's
was the
the
actor that. He was the Russian kid, the son in the first original John Wick, the one that
right,
killed
right.
the Beagle. Yeah, he was from Game of Thrones.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, because I
Hmm.
remember when that first came out, I'm like, holy shit!
Yeah.
Because you never saw those actors besides Amelia Clark. She went on to do like that awful Terminator remix.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Really
that's
good,
right.
yeah. She was Sarah Connors, and I was like, what is this?
Oh my God. I was just
I go off topic. I apologize.
no, it's
But
all right. It's all right. John Wick 3 though, I think all said and done, I'm excited just
yeah,
because
I
it's
think it'll be
John Wick
really good.
3.
It'll be a fun movie. Absolutely.
Absolutely. Hopefully we
Action.
could see him kill someone with a pencil.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward
It's
to
like I
that.
love the way the Russian guy said he's a fucking pencil. Like somebody has to explain that to you. That is not a man I
Yeah,
want to fight.
that
That's a
that
man I'm buying a drink for, and that's it. Like where it's like, is there anything you need, sir?
it's amazing. I saw a meme for Infinity War where Doctor Strange hands hands Thanos a puppy, and he goes,
Yeah.
"Here, you can have the stone if you kill this puppy." And he kills the puppy, and then all of a sudden John Wick comes out and is like, "Somebody see my dog." That's awesome. Honestly, I love what they did with the whole series. And this isn't one of those movies that I feel is like getting dragged out because they don't just like tell you about this movie and then boom, it comes out. It's like they
Yeah.
take their time and they do what they got to do to have great production,
He's
good
good at characters like
storyline.
that too.
Yeah, like and then they
Think about the
always have
Matrix and stuff. He's done it.
right, right, right. But on the other side of that coin is like we wouldn't want to see another Matrix. I don't even
No,
think
no,
it
no,
would
no,
even
no.
be possible to see
I
another
just mean
Matrix.
developing a character. That's what I
But
mean. Keanu
right,
Reeves is good at that.
yeah, exactly. And I just feel like this storyline in particular, like you want to know what happens. Like after the second one, you want to know what's the next move for John Wick. I don't, and I feel like with that being said, that's already excitement for John Wick 3. And
Well,
I
they
don't
did
even
that with the
see
first one.
right,
Remember, he's like walking
right,
away with the dog at the end. You're like, what the fuck?
exactly.
And then it's kind of
And
the dog. That's his name, by the way.
there's not a lot of marketing going on for this right
No.
now. So we're breaking it, I guess, first for you guys. I mean, maybe not first, but we're going to be one of the first people to tell you about John Wick 3, that's for sure.
Yep.
And
People love it.
yeah, maybe we'll give some updates later on when we get some more information. Because that sounds like a good idea. I'm happy about it. The
Absolutely.
last one we gave it 2 thumbs up. So we'll see what it does. So the next next topic on this list is very interesting and very funny. We're going to be talking the Happy Time Murders with Melissa McCarthy, and our thoughts on this Muppet movie for adults. That's what I wrote in here. I even laughed writing it. Do you want to tell them about it first? I'll let you explain it to them real quick.
Was really like, as people, if you haven't seen it yet, it's not much. I don't have to go through all of this ridiculousness and break down a plot for you. Pretty much, they're showing you what happens when, for instance, the Muppets are no longer singing happy childhood songs.
Right.
So it's showing you what's going on in their world.
Mhm.
And the whole main character of it is Melissa McCarthy, who's a cop. Her partner is going to be another Muppet, and they're trying to find somebody who's murdering their Muppets. And obviously, it's got that crude sense of humor, very similar to Deadpool or Ted. I think Ted would probably be a closer thing to it. But I had
Exactly.
laughed because I just told Jeremy this before we started the podcast. It's already out in the news. Sesame Street is suing them for making this movie because of, I guess, their bad portrayal of the
Oh my
Muppets.
god.
You guys have not seen the trailer. Watch it. It is
Please
ridiculously
watch
over
it.
the top.
I mean, we don't know what's gonna happen with this lawsuit.
Exactly.
And so, like, if you could watch it now because it looks fucking hysterical. I hope they follow through with it to get this movie out because it looks funny as shit. Even when my
Yep.
girl saw it, she was interested to see that because it
Yeah.
just looks funny as fuck. I mean, I saw it the first time before we went to Deadpool, and then I
Yeah.
saw it again while we were at
And
Deadpool.
Deadpool was the first time I saw it. So
Right.
I was
And I was like, listen, we were going to talk about this anyway on the podcast, so I wanted you to see it. So it was great that it was in the upcoming attractions. The whole storyline looks funny to begin with because it's obviously like it's talking about murders, but it's not about people, it's about the Muppets. So
Yeah. Look at all this stuffing and stuff like that. Yeah.
Right. So it looks hysterical, honestly. There's not really much more to say about it. Even Melissa McCarthy, she's playing that role great. I didn't
Yeah.
see like one, I don't know, I didn't see anything I didn't like coming from her.
I think it's
in
gonna
the-
be funny.
In it, yeah, it
It's like
looks
to me, like I said,
hysterical.
to me, it looks just Ted. It is like a very similar to a Ted concept where it's just way over the top, and the jokes and stuff like that are like, obviously not for the faint of heart, but
Right,
hey,
it's
you would
for
be listening to this podcast if you were anyway. So
exactly, and it's a lot darker of humor, and that's
Yeah.
something that we both enjoy, and
yeah,
obviously
it's
of
just funny.
our viewers are definitely going to enjoy it as well. Because, like you said, if you're listening to our podcast, you're definitely going to like and want to go
Yeah,
see this.
it looks funny.
It does. So, shout out to them over there for even coming up with this idea. I don't know who's producing this.
I'm gonna go ahead and assume it's not Sesame Street.
Yeah,
So,
it's definitely not Sesame Street.
so we're gonna go with that
Oh
right
my
ahead.
God.
Yeah. Unless you're gonna go watch Big Bird fucking getting a BJ behind some like Walmart or something, but yeah, probably not right. Getting a hand job from Snuffleupagus.
Oh my God, Oscar the Grouch just talking
But again,
wild shit.
none of those type of Muppets are in the movie. Just so the viewers know,
No,
there's no fucking Grover the Streetwalker or something like that. Like there's
Right.
nothing like that going
Or
on.
like
but
Elmo getting shot
I
in the
guess
face.
just by saying in their opening credits was like, what do the Muppets do? And I'm guessing Sesame Street is. If I didn't read the lawsuit, but it might have something to do with the fact that they use the word Muppet. Muppet
Right.
is a trademark of Jim Henson or something along those
Right,
lines.
right.
But
Yeah,
oh my
'cause
God,
it's like I mean they did that Kermit what's that movie with Kermit the Frog that came out like 2 years ago? Shit, where the Russian frog.
oh,
You know what I'm
I know
talking
you're
about?
But they do kid ones like that all
Right,
the time.
and like
Piggy and the-
that had to be like it wasn't dark humor like this, but obviously they're still using those terms in the franchise, and obviously there's a kid show as well. So
yeah. So I don't know
um,
why that is. We'll find out. But still,
Right.
I don't see it stopping the movie from coming out at all.
I don't think so either. Because
Worst
it
thing
makes
they
me
could do
think
is
of you ever see that show Crank Yankers? That's when we were younger.
Yeah.
And they were using Muppets in that, but I don't think, like you said, they used the word Muppet.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Puppet.
Yeah.
Who fucking knows?
Hand
There's
of
gotta-
puppet.
Yeah. I don't know. I can't see them getting away with it,
Oh
but
my
obviously
God.
there's something. But they're probably just pissed off. They don't want their how dare you tarnish our.
How dare you
Yeah.
slander Big Bird's name, you
Yeah, right.
motherfucker.
Big Bird's not even in it, you fucks. Right?
Exactly. Oh my God. So that's awesome. That's definitely something to look forward
Elmo's
to.
doing blow off a stripper's head. It could be pretty funny if they did it right.
Right. But
Yeah.
I don't have a date on this. Did it even
Soon.
give us a
I don't
date?
remember it seeing it on there, but it's coming out. Like I would think it's gonna come out soon.
I think within the year.
Within the-
I mean, we'll give an update next.
I thought it was
next
within a
podcast.
month, but I wasn't even sure.
The month?
So I remember just maybe I just saw it saying coming soon.
I think it was coming soon. I don't think they gave us a date.
Usually that means a month or two. Like
Right.
it's not going to be like I don't think it'll be December.
Nah. So
Whenever something is that far away, 20-second, 15-second trailer. You know what I mean?
Right.
This one was a long trailer. So usually you only do that when it's closer, but
Yeah.
you're
Well,
right. We don't know. I
We
couldn't
don't
give you a
know, and
definitive.
then usually they do 2 trailers. I want to say so.
Yeah,
you know,
fucking
maybe
Google it.
right.
You'll
Google
find
it.
out.
And you find out that way. I'll still give an update next podcast. I'll be sure to remember. All right. So next,
And I'm sure every time he tells you he's going to give you an update, listeners, he always throws.
listen, I don't always remember. All right, I don't always
Holy
fucking
shit! This
remember.
guy and his broken promises. Don't let him feel. I feel your pain, listeners.
Oh my God, shut up over there. All right, so
Okay.
moving on to the last topic of the movies, and I don't always forget my promises to leave updates. I updated about the Nintendo Virtual Console. I did.
That is true.
I remembered. I will remember this. This is hysterical. How am I gonna forget this? You know? Fucking A.
It is
All
funny.
right, it is. All right, I don't want to even give away any of the jokes from the trailer. I'd rather you guys go see that. You know?
Exactly. It was just like when we did Deadpool. Like you got to see it to get it.
Exactly. You got to see it to even
You just know
understand
what
where we're
we thought
coming
of it.
from. Yeah, and we both think it's great. So, for the last topic of the movie portion of the Assassin Cast, we're going to be discussing Marvel's next Netflix endeavor. Wow, I can't fucking speak.
Yeah.
Called Cloak and Dagger. I'll speak on it real quick. I don't know if you
Yeah,
saw the
absolutely.
trailer.
No, I did, but you're bigger into these than I am, so I
Yeah.
absolutely always give way to you.
To be honest, I don't think it plays a role with the other Marvel Netflix properties like Daredevil and Jessica Jones and Luke Cage and Iron Fist. I don't think it has anything to do with them at the moment. I know they're comic book characters, but I'm not familiar with them. I'm not gonna lie. Most of the comics that I read are more like the A-listers, sometimes B-listers, you know. So these are definitely C-list at best, I want to say. I mean, I could be wrong, and I'm sure somebody will correct us if I am wrong. But just judging from this, if you were going, the only way I could put it is the storyline kind of throws you off at first. It's not the typical way you would think of it, right? Um, so, with that being said, I think the best way to put it is if you wanted your girl to watch a Netflix Marvel series, this is the one that you start with. You know, like it's pretty much like uh, a girl and a dude. They both live different lives, and then they come into contact with each other and realize that when they're together, they have these superpowers, and they end up falling in love. But their superpowers won't let them touch each other or get close to each other. So it's actually pulling them apart, which makes for a good storyline, I would say. So there's that dynamic there that they both, looking from the trailer, they both look like they play off of it well. So this hit the podcast mainly because I saw the ad for it on the subway. And I was like, wait a minute, that's Marvel? And I did some research and I realized that, yeah, it is. And it looks pretty decent. All the effects from what I saw look good. Um, and I can't really go too much more in depth about their superpowers because I would have to do the research on them to begin with.
Yeah.
So that's what I want to put on it. Did you watch the trailer I sent you?
I did, but then what I always tell you is like I never got into all those. Like
Mm-hmm.
I think I told you I watched. We've talked about another podcast or even the
Right.
last one recently, like The Punisher. Watching a few, but when you talk about Luke Cage, so I always know you like them way more,
Yeah.
and I give you that absolutely. I just never got into big. Like I always told you, I've always geared towards HBO. Those are
Mm-hmm.
all the shows I watch. Like now, Westworld and obviously Game of Thrones, things like that. But
Right.
it doesn't mean I won't give these a shot because a lot of my buddies and even my brother is big into telling me to start getting into them because he loves Jessica Jones,
Yeah.
Daredevil. He keeps telling me to watch them as well.
Yeah.
I just
I
never got
mean,
around to binging them.
exactly. I think you should finish off the Punisher first, and that'll
Yeah, he
definitely
keeps telling
get
me the
you
same
into
thing.
it.
Yeah,
You
he
know,
says the same thing.
because it's like that shit is brutal, like
Yeah,
fucking brutal. You know, so
and he warned me the same as you that it was slower for the first few and it builds up.
right,
But
right. I think about the third episode it starts building because they're building up the
yeah,
story, and luckily with the Netflix series, they have the time to kind of go in depth on the character because it's spanned
yeah,
over I think 13 or 14 episodes, which are about an hour apiece.
yeah,
So throwing this in the lineup, it looks pretty decent. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, especially we know it's coming from Marvel, and you know, say what you want to say about Iron Fist, because not a lot of people like the Iron Fist. I mean, I thought it was a poorly, like, I don't want to say it was poorly done, but it kind of drifted away from the comic a lot. You know,
yeah.
like he didn't get his suit
I've heard that about it.
right, so it's like, and the actor that's playing Danny Rand in Iron Fist, it's not that he's a bad actor. I think it was just bad writing.
Mm.
So it was much better to me, I thought, in the Defenders. So we'll see where that goes. But I don't want to say that judging from Iron Fist that Cloak and Dagger is going to be bad because it's not even the same world, I want to say, as of right now. I could be
Yeah.
wrong. I'll look into it more and give another update. Then
Yeah.
fuck you.
But you never know until you see it. You know how it
Right.
is.
I mean, I would say give it a chance. Obviously this isn't an
Yeah.
A-lister superhero, so I think it's going to be that entry level for you and your girl to get her introduced to the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and we'll see where that takes you. Because if she likes that, then you could throw on Jessica Jones, and then you'd be like, oh, you like her storyline? Oh, Luke Cage comes in, then you watch Luke
Sounds like you've
Cage.
used this trick before.
Nah, you know what, my girl, I gotta hand it to her. I love you, babe. You know what? I have to hand it to her. She knows that I like these Netflix series, and she actually watched Iron Fist with me complete and The Defenders complete,
There you go.
both seasons. I've been trying to get her to watch Luke Cage because Luke Cage season 2 is
Yeah.
coming out, but she just like she wants to watch 13 Reasons Why season 2, which I'm gonna tell you this right now. I didn't really want to watch the series to begin with. This is like off topic 100%, but I gotta throw this in there. I didn't want to watch the series to begin with, and my boss told me that he was watching it with his wife, and I was like, really? Like I heard some shit about it, but I didn't think it was good. And he was like, listen, this story is fucked up. He's like, I understand that it has to do with high school kids. He's like, but this is the most fucked up story I've ever seen. Even at the end is fucking graphic. And I'm like, really? Get the fuck out of here. I don't believe it.
Yeah.
And then my girl was like, oh, I want to watch it. So we ended up binge watching through the whole first season. And I was like, holy fuck, that was brutal. It was fucking brutal. I couldn't believe it. And you know what's so funny? We started season 2. No, I wasn't crying. But we started season 2. And before the first episode even starts, they're like, listen, if you have a problem with suicide, please call this number and blah. And I'm like, holy fuck, they didn't do that on season 1. You let this bitch slice her fucking arms open. Oh, spoilers. Slice her arms open in the fucking bathtub. You didn't give one fucking worrisome commercial in the beginning of your fucking series.
Lawsuits have a way of doing that.
Yeah, I guess you're right. I mean, I'm sure if you get enough shit about it, and suicide is not a joke. We had left a number on our hotline, the hotline number on one of our previous episodes, so we're not joking around about that. But she's into series like that, so it's hard for us to mesh together to watch something that I want to see.
13
But,
reasons why Iron Fist. Like I can see,
tomato, oranges, potato. Fuck that. So that's it for the movie portion of this Assassin Cast. So for you movie heads, that's all we got for this week. And we did not scrape the bottom of the barrel. This is some good stuff here. So if you guys are tuning out, catch us next time. Yeah. So moving on to the gaming portion of this week's Assassin Cast. The first topic on the list pisses me off beyond belief. Beyond belief, all right?
Had me hear the holy angels in my face when I heard this.
Oh,
Finally!
God.
More exclusivity!
Yeah, so you think. All right, so...
No, I'm kidding. I don't never be that lucky.
All
I
right,
have a better chance of Scarlett Johansson walking in behind me right now.
Exactly. You have a better chance of that happening than all the exclusivity of Sony walking out the door.
Walking into Xbox, yeah.
Right.
No, I'm not lucky.
All right, so we're going to discuss Sony on their news on the PS4 entering the end of its life cycle. And what's funny is this hit the topic list on Monday last week. It was before I even released the last Assassin Cast.
Pocket, yeah.
Right. So, and it said, which has, as of today, has no credible sources. So when I first saw it, it sounded like a rumor. It was very vague. There was no information. Yeah. It was like, how are you going to say that and not have something to follow up with? Like, you're going to say it's the end of the life cycle. Is there a PS5 coming out?
That's what I was just going to ask you.
Right. So that is what seems to be the case. So they're saying that there's like another 2 years worth of life out of your PS4. And what's funny is after that this information leaked, looking in Facebook Marketplace alone, I saw a lot of PS4s and a lot of Pros. already being sold
What do
because
you think? How long has the PS4 been out for?
okay, so the original PS4, I want to say, got put out around 2013. I could be wrong. Maybe even earlier than that. Let me do
Five,
some
six.
research
But
real
either way,
quick.
it's all right. I'm just thinking 5, 6 years. I guess that is longer than you think. But what are you
Right,
gonna like? My key to that is, and it even bounces back to our previous podcast where we were talking about new video cards and things coming out.
right,
Like, what
right.
the fuck are you gonna like? What is the PS5 gonna do? Even if you brought it out to me,
Well, we already know. That's the thing.
like it's gonna do like your fucking VR. That's the only thing that's gonna end up in these games at
Wow.
all.
I was right, by the way. So the PS4 has been out for since November 15, 2013.
All right,
So that's been a long
less than
time.
5 years, but
Right. It's been less than 5 years. They're accounting for another 2 years. So the problem is they have these half through the mid cycle updates of their console, whether it be the Slim and now this is the Pro,
yeah,
right? So they already had three iterations of the PS4, and the only time you got a hardware update was between the Slim and the Pro. So this poses a problem. So now the people that you got put on to the PS4 Pro are now they're shit out of luck. After the next 2 years, when they move into their next console installment, which like we're debating is probably going to be the PS5, right?
yeah,
And this is all speculation because there was nothing that I saw about this.
yeah. I don't see it either. I was
You
telling you
know,
that's the thing.
there's nothing I saw about it, but it is credible. I found out that this is true. And you never know, they might be making an announcement at this year's E3, which happens to be next month. And this is just, drumming up the excitement, as I would
Mm,
say, because at the end of the day, E3 is becoming, what's the word I'm looking for? Like outdated.
yeah,
So when it's outdated and people aren't paying attention to the developer, because it's not really the developers. See, like new games that come out, they get marketing, they get marketed on PSN and Xbox Live, and you will eventually hear about upcoming games, and then also through threads and the internet. But E3 used to be that place where developers would go and show their games. Since they're not doing that as much anymore, it's strictly for the consoles and the hardware being built. They want to show you this is what the PS4 is going to do now, or this is what Xbox One X can do, and their new features. So that's really what that's for. And actually, what's funny is Nintendo was like, fuck this, I'm out. I'm not doing this anymore. And now
yep,
they have their Nintendo Direct. So now you're getting information directly from Nintendo when they want you to get it. You don't have to wait till June. If you want to know what's coming out with Nintendo, you go onto their internet and you fucking say, you know? So my theory is you're going to get some sort of announcement at E3 of what Sony's next step is. Now, let's be real here. We could do a quick comparison between the Xbox One X and the PS4 Pro. We've said it in many podcasts already. So, like, the Pro is doing checkerboard 4K. It's being upscaled to a 4K resolution that's not native. It's not really pushing it. And in certain situations, it looks better, but then on Xbox One X, you're getting a native 4K signal, and they have games that are getting remastered to be in 4K or upscaled to 4K,
yeah.
and it's kind of putting Sony to shame. And a lot of people won't say that. They want to say like, "Oh, the Pro is where it's at. This is what I want to do." But I told you, there's some games that just look unbelievable on the Xbox One X.
Yeah.
And
You just have
even
the exclusivity of Sony. Like I always tell you,
right,
those games will bring you home when those come
exactly.
out in 4K. Spider-Man being one of them. Those games will bring
Right.
it home.
So now God of War, that was a
Yes,
recent release
phenomenal game.
and it looks great.
Yep.
But let's be real, that exclusive isn't going to be on the Xbox. So you're not going to get a comparison
It's
of
true.
what that would look like on the Xbox. So what I think is, I think that Sony's looking into the future and they're seeing that the Pro is only going to take them so far. Right now, the Xbox One X is in the lead hardware wise. And we discussed it last podcast on about the Nvidia Shield, the new one they put out, the new graphics card. That is doing light years past these consoles. You're talking that's just like almost 8K, you know?
Yep.
So that's putting them to shame, and you're going to keep seeing this until they make it so that you're able to upgrade your console with ease. So that's my theory on it. What do you think? I know I kind of took this away, but you know.
No, I agree with you because I think it's like I can't fathom what the next gen is going to even be like. Because like I always tell you, I play both console and on the computer, and I just can't see what the console's going to do that I can't do on a computer. So then the exclusivity of some of those games is one thing, and then I always just wonder, man. I feel like this VR is going to get crazier and crazier.
Mm-hmm.
Like whether it's through the console or through the PC or through whatever people craft on their own, I truly feel like this is going to turn into the next thing. Because I was just actually, ironically, yesterday talking with my brother-in-law and one of some of my nephews when we did our little barbecue, and he
Right.
was talking about how the new games, like there's a new Resident Evil coming out for the VR and stuff, and people
Yeah.
are saying it's like
It's fucking
it's
unbelievable.
ridiculous.
You're right,
And he
right.
talks about their enhancement of how far of an image you get, 180 versus now 270,
Mm-hmm.
and how it's like the resolutions are going into the 4 and 8K as well. But he also, like, the thing that supports his is not a console. He has a
Right.
desktop tower that's probably twice as thick as mine.
Exactly.
The immense amount of RAM and processing and everything that he needs to play it is why it looks so phenomenal. But like I said, is
Exactly.
that for the everyday user? Of course not.
Well, that's why it's hard to see where they're
Yeah,
going
where are we going?
because
Yeah.
we know where they're going. It's eventually going to be, and until they can offer you a way to upgrade, people are going to say, fuck this, I'm going to the PC. Because the truth is, if the PC is already light years past this, right, they're, they don't have to spend $900 every fucking 2 years. They just spent
Upgrade as you go.
$900 and they're good for a while.
You upgrade as you go, though. That's the one thing. But again,
Right.
some people have a hard nose. They will only play console.
Exactly. But for right now, it's not at that point yet, but it's getting there soon. So my prediction is we'll see what Sony's going to reveal at E3, and my prediction is it's going to be a lot fucking what's the word I'm looking for? It's going to be way
Like
more
hype.
it's going to be way more enhanced hardware than what we
Yeah.
see right now. So this way they can keep their one foot in front of Microsoft, and then Microsoft's going to follow up with the Xbox One X.2, or they might
Kill.
not. I don't think they
Yeah.
will. Right now they're ahead. They know this is where gaming's going, and you're good for the next 5
Well,
years.
they like it because you're already in 4K. You can use it. Now
Right.
they just have to allow for the allow. This is where downloadable content, in my opinion, and patches for actual games come in handy.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's where you could be ahead of the game. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Right.
oh, hey, oh, you bought this game already? And we're going to give it to you. We're going to let you get it remastered in 4K if you have the One X. That's pretty, you know what I mean? Like, having the availability to do that is, instead of being like, hey, oh, you want it? Yeah, pay another $20.
Exactly.
Like, I laugh like you get an Xbox, like, even though they piss me off in these, but PS5 comes out, let's say, right? I can see those pricks being like, oh, your PS4 games don't work in it.
See, now
And that
that's a big
fucking pisses
problem.
me off.
Right.
Like you just said, a ton of people are buying these games, and it's like, fuck you.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they're saying to you. And yeah,
Pretty
we all
much.
still come back. Let's not pretend we don't. But still, it's just like, come on.
Well,
I'm always curious. I want to see where this next gen's gonna go. Because if you look at, like, I wish we could break it down one podcast, like just show from like 1980 till 2018. It's not that long. It's 38 years, and you're
Mhm.
looking at fucking Donkey Kong and Zelda, and
Right.
now you're looking at Modern Warfare and Battlefield being these games like the way they look.
That are
It's
fucking
pretty,
unbelievable.
it's
Yeah.
pretty ridiculous.
You
Where
know
are we
what?
going to be in 10, 20 years from now?
Exactly. We could do that next podcast. I'll edit in some footage while we're talking, and we'll just put it up on the screen for our video viewers to see the difference in comparison of where we were and where we are. It's
Incredible.
like night and day, honestly. So I mean, that's my idea on this whole life cycle thing. And you know what? It is a credible thing because I've seen it in way more places than just one place. There's a lot of people on YouTube talking about it. So we'll see where it goes. And my prediction is we'll hear it at E3. I'm
Right.
almost definite. And I don't think we're going to get it anytime soon. Obviously, it's 2 years in the making because we already know it's going to take 2 years, but we're going to hear about something. And I don't know if we're going to get to see anything, but we'll see. So we kind of just segue into our next topic. Speaking of Battlefield 5, let's talk about the trailer. I know you
Yeah.
saw it.
I saw it. You know, it's funny. I played a few of the Battlefields. I was always more into Modern Warfare,
Hmm.
but I did enjoy the like the battle fighting when I get to get into a jet and
Right.
take people down and do shit like that. That was really fucking cool. But
Hmm.
the graphics on this new one look incredible,
It's
and I literally
unbelievable.
might pick it up just to fuck around with it. Like, you know what I
Right.
mean? Like, I don't see myself like getting immersed in it, and all of a sudden I'm this crazy. I got to play online all the time because I think I've lost that
Honestly, I
competitive
think
juice.
I have Battlefield 3 over there. It was
Yeah, I think that was
actually
the one. That was the last one I had. Yeah.
right, and that's actually one of the first games I bought for the PS3, matter of fact. And just like you're saying, it was cool to get into the jets and do all that stuff, but this isn't the same sort of storyline from the previous Battlefields. Like,
No, it looked crazy.
yeah, this looks like it's like sometime in World War II, I want to say. I didn't get the
Yeah,
gist of it being as an older
it looked. Yeah, but I was
situation.
trying to figure that out too.
Right. So I think it's more in the lines of World War II, which is interesting because you have Call of Duty World War II that just came out. It might just
Yep.
be like a competitor. But one of the things that I don't fucking like is, and I don't think I saw this in the Battlefield 5, so don't hold it against me, but I don't like this battle royale shit. I don't. I
It's the
don't
new
get
thing,
it.
dude.
It sounds fucking ridiculous, honestly. What
It's the
happened to
new
just
thing.
deathmatch or capture the flag? Like, why you gotta do this?
Oh,
I
you're thinking
mean,
original Halo.
right.
See me
Well,
come at you with the sword for a fucking one punch kill.
right. But like, come on, I don't like this Battlefield battle royale, Battlefield battle, fucking Fortnite bullshit.
Well, it's like a PUBG. It's a
Right.
PUBG. That's what it's
Right.
more like than
But now,
Fortnite itself.
now all these fucking developers are putting their fucking eggs in that basket. I don't think people are gonna fucking want
Money,
that shit.
money, dude. Well, yeah, if they're catering to a different genre and a different age bracket, in my opinion. Like I told you, my nephew, he's 11,
Yeah.
fucking loves Fortnite, swears by it. I see older people playing it. Don't get me wrong, but this kid loves it. His buddies love it. He's showing me memes of it.
Right. Right.
And
I
I
just
see the
sent you one.
gameplay of it. Yeah, I see the gameplay of it. I'm like, what the fuck?
I just
Like
sent you one the
I
other
told
day. Remember?
because I joked that my buddies wanted me to play it. I didn't. I was like, whatever. Like I'm not really into it, so I
Right.
never even did. But still, it's like I think they're just. It's same with Battlefield. This is something I think a younger generation of kids love.
Yeah, I mean, I see it doing very well just from the way it looks.
Yeah,
Like, honestly, like, even if that Battle Royale mode wasn't in it, or if it is, the campaign is gonna be fucking serious. Honestly.
yeah. That could, I told you. I bought Modern Warfare for the Xbox One just to play that campaign in the 4K, and it was
Right,
worth
right.
it. Every second of it.
That's what I'm saying. And I think you're gonna get a similar experience with Battlefield 5.
Yep.
If not better, because now they're taking advantage of that 4K. That shit looked like a movie. It was almost like Red Dead Redemption.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Like these games are coming to a point where it's unbelievable.
Well, the cinematics are real deal.
Right,
Like they
right.
really are. And these
And
games, you can do that because when you go into that first-person view, like they did it even in Modern Warfare, I'm sorry, in World War II, it's like Call of Duty. When you do that, then you don't have to worry about like you know what I mean, showing the actual character like you would in something like Witcher or God of War.
yeah,
All you're showing is the peripheral and the fucking front of them, and the graphics, and you can focus on the environment, and it looks
right,
crazy.
right. So honestly, I totally agree with you. I think this is
Yeah,
gonna be
I'll mess
something
around with it. You know
special.
me.
Yeah, I mean, we'll give it update when it comes out. I don't know. I don't know when they're pushing
Never
for
look.
this.
Yeah, we never look at dates, me and you. I
I
hate to say
know,
it.
man. I try
I
to
never do
include
either. I
them.
don't. For anybody that's disappointed, I'm never big into that. I check these things out, I see them, but then I'm not like the guy. I'm not gonna wait online for
I'm
fucking 8 hours outside of GameStop or something to buy this
right.
fucking game. Like I just
I don't
wait,
think a
and
lot of
then
people are, honestly. I
no,
mean, you
when I get
never
free
know.
time, I go buy it.
Right. And
I check out the games.
I think there's no date on this because I think they're going to be doing something for E3. I
Yeah,
think they're
like
going
you
to
said,
give
it
us
wouldn't shock me.
they're going to give us something more on that. So when that happens, we'll keep you updated. Speaking of E3, we're going to give some coverage on it. We're not going to cover the whole thing, but we're going to give our thoughts and what we think about some of the stuff that they're going to be talking about at E3 for sure, you know. Okay, so let's move on. Okay. So that's it for Battlefield 5. Until we see some more stuff on it, I think that's where we're at. I think it looks great. So does Dan. So moving on. This one is interesting because we talked about it, I think, last podcast or
I
maybe the
think,
podcast
yeah.
before. But hacking of the Nintendo Switch
I fucking love people.
has made some online games unbearable. We're talking banning and why it's not going to be foolproof.
You know what's funny? You showed that click, and I watched the game where that guy fucked that guy up on Twitter, and I loved it. I immediately loved it.
Yeah, it
Like
was
there are
fucking
certain
awesome.
things, like yeah, like I think that's something we talked about. Like you got to find a way to secure this, of course. Nintendo only just released the online aspect of these games, so I'm not surprised people are gonna do it. But let me just,
Right.
I hope people, for somebody like me who's played a ton of games online, mostly through the PC, this is what fucking people
This is what
do, man.
happens, right?
Like,
I
yeah,
was
it
thinking the same
sucks.
thing
I
when I saw
absolutely
this.
agree. I'm the guy that will stand here and tell you it happens, but I'm the same guy fucking kicking shit as I'm getting beat by a guy who's,
Who's actually
potting
doing
or
it?
who's doing whatever.
Right, right.
It happens in all these games. So it just makes me giggle when I see it happen to somebody else.
Exactly. And honestly,
They'll get on it.
let's explain it one more time for
Oh,
our
yeah.
viewers and listeners. So this is the reason why. Okay, so first of all, let's talk the banning aspect. The reason why it's not going to be foolproof, and you shouldn't keep your fucking your hopes high for this, because the way that they're hacking the Nintendo Switch to mod it is being done off the right Joy-Con. I think I'm wrong. I think it's the left Joy-Con. And what they're doing is they are using an exploit through shorting out the left Joy-Con and then putting in their code through the boot process. So no matter what fucking Nintendo does, as long as that file's in the boot process, they're always going to have a modded Nintendo Switch. So no matter what they try to do to ban this, it's not going to be foolproof because they're not going to get rid of the banned systems. This is hard modded in now. I mean, technically it's not hard modded in, but they're corrupting the boot files.
They couldn't ban that person from getting on the internet. Like
Right.
same as
They
you
could
could ban banning my Xbox Live Gold account.
now
You could ban their fucking online. But again,
right.
they're not paying for online, or they are.
Well, they are. It's like $20, but
$20.
what
Shit.
Nintendo wants you to do is if you run into encounter one of these people, you're supposed to let them know so that they can take action against them. But like I said, it's not foolproof. It's not. So that's the whole point. I mean, making the games unbearable, it's like you said, this has been happening for fucking years. Get the fuck over it, right? Like,
Yep.
honestly, what's funny is since I'm big on the PS3, which everybody knows, when I was playing, what was it? Call of Duty Modern Warfare, the first one. Um, since there's a new generation of consoles, new generation of Call of Duty, there's people who modded their PS3s and they have modded completed maps where it's like you're a zombie and if you get killed, it's like almost like you're drunk, the thing's stuttering and you're falling on the floor, but you're like the zombie. So it's like if you lose once, you're the zombie. And that's not part of Call of Duty. Somebody hacked it and they're hacking into the online and then you're getting put onto their server and you're playing in it. It happens all the fucking time. It's still happening now, is what I'm saying. And you know what? I remember back in the day when the original Xbox was around, people were hacking Halo 2. And if they got caught,
Oh my
they would
god.
get their whole Xbox Live account shut down.
I remember guys, yeah, he'd be like, fuck, fuck. Like
Right.
he'd do the guy like shooting rocket launchers at him, and he's still
And he's still not
full
going
speed,
down,
dude,
right?
just with the sword. He's just running. And you're like, oh my god, no. Man, we used to
Oh
laugh
my
because you
god.
were just fucked. You
Right.
knew it, and then you just tell the guy in the bottom chat like "fuck yourself," and then you smiley
Exactly.
face. Like you knew, like it sucks, but still it happened. Like that's what I always say.
It
But
does.
Nintendo's just new. Give them time. They'll get it under control, but it's still gonna happen just less frequently because I heard it is like a plague right now because everybody's doing it.
Right. It doesn't really
So,
take much to hack your Switch. Now, corrupting it with boot files, that's dangerous because, it's not like the DS where you put in you're putting in a cartridge and you're adding your own firmware, and then if you take the cartridge out, it's not modded anymore. But that's the problem, really. This is in the boot ROMs. It has nothing to do with that. Um, so I guess that's what's gonna happen. Obviously, if that continues to be a problem, they will eventually get banned. I mean, we don't really know if it's gonna help, but that's what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
So let's move on to our final and last topic on this week's Assassin Cast for May 20th.
Yeah, I was waiting. Like,
20th. I had to go up and check.
trouble.
May 20th. Oh, Jesus. All right. So, this topic was included by my wonderful, glorious host, Daniel McCarthy.
Absolutely.
That Mario Tennis for the Nintendo Switch is coming out this June. We're going to give our thoughts on this game, in the franchise, and is it just another title to keep you quiet for other releases like Smash Brothers? I'm not really too sure what else is coming out on the Switch right now, but there's some other releases also coming out. Do you think it's that, or does this hold its merit? And before you yell at me for not thinking so, I think that this looks great. It really shows what the Switch can do graphically. Like all the, I think the trailer I included on this, you could really see the Switch is getting pushed hard from this. So, what do you think?
Did you play the original?
On the 64?
Yeah.
Yeah, of course. Me and my cousin Anthony used to play all that all the time, man.
I can remember, no joke, playing that game for hours. Like, I've probably invested 300 hours of my life playing that game.
Mhm.
That's why, for me, and I told you this, like, the Nintendo Switch will get me on games out of pure nostalgia, but I love
Right.
that game. And this game is, like, to me, is the perfect representation of a game you play on the Switch.
Right.
Like, this is a game where I can bring it, like, I have a bunch of buddies over, some family over. Like, I just saw I could play with 4 people on doubles. You telling me I don't want to get that going at a party? Like, that shit's hilarious.
That's awesome.
So that type of aspect, and then the gameplay itself, and they finally did a solo mode. So this game will actually have it. Yeah, you're like building yourself up to go into the fucking U.S. Open of
the Mario characters.
Yeah, like, that's pretty fucking funny, dude. So, but the original had some classic. I just remember how hard me and my one buddy used to play that game against each other. Like, I'm talking, a single match would go like an hour.
Shit.
Like, of us just like lobbing, running back, hitting, and like it got really intense. Where we used to like try to keep exact track of the all-time records.
Who would have fucking known, bro? Who would have known that a fucking plumber from Brooklyn will be going to the U.S. Open of Mario characters?
Mario Tennis, and I would fucking love it. Like, like fucking, they didn't have my character, which upset me a little bit that my man wasn't in there, Baby Mario.
Oh,
but for all I know, it will be released. But honestly, like I told you before, like I've said a bunch of times, like, yeah, the nostalgia of these games will always grab me, man.
Right.
And I think this one is another one. It's just another fun game. Mario Kart, great game. I'm waiting for them, or if they have it, I think they have. I just haven't seen it. Like, I want to remaster me a fucking Punch-Out. Like, get me some games, like stuff like that we can mess around on, is why I would like the Switch. That's why I would buy it. I know other people, like you said, the chick that you know.
Oh, Irene?
That you wrote your article about. Irene, that's right.
Yeah, right.
She is a big Switch fan, and she probably likes other games on there that are actually legit.
Yeah.
Like, these games that I'm talking about, I get it. They're not the games that people are going, to wait online to play, but
not
these are the type of ones that I love, yeah.
I mean, Mario does numbers, that's for sure.
Yeah.
So every time there's a Mario come out, there's always going to be a line of people trying to go and get that. And like in Irene's case, she's big on the Switch. She does other stuff as well, but she plays a lot of RPGs. A lot of first-person shooters. So she has a range of stuff, and she every once in a while.
I wouldn't even know what else is on there.
Right. Every once in a while, she'll put on her channel like 10 games from the eShop you should check out, things of that nature, and that's how I really get most of my information. Besides when we're looking for stuff on our topics and other people that are big on the Switch on YouTube as well. So, but in the case of Mario, he's the flagship of Nintendo. This is what keeps their systems alive.
And like Donkey Kong too. Like, I think of stuff like that. Like you were saying, like Diddy Kong. If they did like a Diddy Kong game again, holy
that would be
shit.
nice.
But,
I don't know. Diddy Kong is like not gonna be around for a while, I have a feeling. You know, so
Yeah.
I saw someone in a Facebook group mention like, "What happened to Diddy Kong?" Like
Yeah,
nobody
he's
fucking
banging
knows.
hookers somewhere in Europe now. He's no longer a teenager. He's like
Right.
40 years old. He's got 3 illegitimate children.
Right. He smacked his Diddy Kong race cart into the fucking wall a long time ago. You know, so. Unfortunately, that's it for Diddy Kong. But for
Yeah.
Mario and his tennis escapades, it looks very decent.
Did it. I knew you were gonna look it up too when I sent it to him. I knew this guy was gonna be like, "What is this guy fucking kidding me? This is
Mario
why I don't
tennis.
want to take topic."
This is a
And then
fucking
you're like,
old news.
and then you see the fucking trailer as he's fucking getting ready to put the ball up.
Yeah, he's like smacking it on the ground, getting ready to hit. Oh my god! Hey, you know what? You can
It
see
does
what the
look good. I
Switch
gotta
does. You know, like it
It does
looks
have
nice.
potential. I'll tell you that.
It does.
It's not gonna be like, oh, there's 4 kids, but that's not what that game. That's not what that system's for. I feel like if people make that comparison, they're like, oh my god, like, but look at how much better the Pro and the One X look and
Yeah.
all the game. It's like I get it, but that's not what the Switch is. It's a different console.
Yeah, I mean,
To me.
like
Like
we've
I
always
didn't. I
said,
that's why I said I'd have to talk to Irene and break her down about what great RPGs are available besides Zelda and games
Right.
like that I'd probably love. Like if there was a Final Fantasy, I'd be all over it too. But I'm not.
I know
she'd have to let me know.
there's a game Fire Emblem, which a lot of people
Oh
are
yeah,
all
I
over.
played that.
Right.
Yeah,
So there is some good stuff. I mean, one of the things that didn't make the list this week, just because I didn't think we were gonna have time, was that the release in Japan of Resident Evil, I think 7, Resident Evil 7. It's a first-person Resident Evil, and it's on the Switch, but I think it's the newest Resident Evil that they have out right now. And it's on the Switch, but it's using their cloud. And I'm surprised I didn't include this on the fucking podcast. I don't know why. Mainly because I thought we weren't gonna have time, but it's using the cloud for storage because it's such a big game that you're not going to be able to do it strictly out of the cartridge. It's like those other games we were talking about, like Wolfenstein. Now you need to have some on the cloud and some on the cartridge. So it's interesting to see what they're using this cloud shit for, but they are not releasing it in the United States. It's going to be a Japan only thing. So we're still not going to get to see it, but I guess the way Nintendo usually works and how they've worked for years is if shit takes off in Japan, then it comes and makes a way to here.
Right. That's the same thing. Yeah, games that went over there. Absolutely.
So that's it. I mean, that's it for this episode of the Assassin Cast.
Cheers.
Right. So it was a lot of topics.
Oh, I know what I'm gonna be up to. I'm working out. I'm gonna get my fucking tennis elbow going, and it sounds like somebody's buying a fucking Switch. That's what sounds like it's gonna happen.
All right, who's gonna get spanked the worst on Mario Tennis?
Well, that's already where I'm going.
Oh, don't worry, guys. I'm gonna be picking up a. That's actually one of the things I'm gonna be picking up for the podcast is a video capture card. Because unfortunately, unless it's the classics that I have on the computer, there's not really a way for me to take footage of what I'm playing. So once I pick up the video capture card, me and Dan will play some
oh my god,
Marvel vs. Street Fighter.
Of him getting dragon punched to hell.
All right,
and you guys can see the full power of the pale white Irish.
Exactly. So that's in the upcoming future. News as of news, nothing has really changed so far from last week. We're still waiting on the emergency table for Long Island Retro Gaming. Me and Dan have to talk a little bit more about the podcast movement, their Philadelphia Expo. Maybe we might be attending. I don't know. We're going to be talking about that as well. But really, for news, that's it. Not too much going on in the terms of everything else. What else am I looking for? I think that's it. So what are you playing, Dan? Nothing?
I'm playing in my head, getting ready for some Mario Tennis. That's what I'm fucking
playing with his fucking self because he's not playing.
I'm going to start running, yeah. No, like I told you, I beat Witcher. I did some of the side quests, but I'm not going to end up doing all that.
Right.
Double my gameplay time. And then, I don't know, I was messing around, but there's I'm trying to find a game that's going to grab me. I was looking through the store today when I was, like, looking through, like, online, like, if I wanted to buy them digitally, and there's just nothing grabbing me.
You know what? Buying digital is not the way to go. You know that.
Sometimes what I mean by that is if I saw a game on there,
on digital,
then I would
go
to YouTube YouTube, then I would watch reviews, and I get crazy about it. Then I'll read
Right.
shit online, then I'll go fucking to the store and buy it.
I
Like
mean,
that's how I
there's
always go about it.
shit. There was something I wanted you to check out. I don't remember what it was. Fucking
But
it.
I got to figure out what I want to play. And like I said, I
Right.
just did the whole Witcher game. Like, for instance, like if I could play God of War on the Xbox, I don't know if I'd go right into that because it's like I'm playing the same game, in my opinion, the same type of game. So I need something a little different. I went from first-person shooter to like a mini RPG, in my opinion, because it wasn't long enough for it to be a
To
full.
be a full
But then I'll,
RPG, right?
yeah, like all full RPGs are games I used to put fucking 200 hours into.
Right. Right.
So that's when I count it. You know what I mean? That's when I make a save, and then I just
You should
realize how
check
long
out
I've been playing in one position.
You should check out a fighting game and get back to us on that. Matter of fact,
I was thinking about that. My one nephew was talking about you at one of the UFC fighting games because we could play each other online.
oh, that'd be cool. Yeah, right.
Yeah, but I don't know. I got to figure it out.
Maybe. Well, we'll keep you posted. Obviously, we got E3 coming up, so you could always just wait and see
Yeah,
what
and see
captures
what's
your
gonna look
attention.
great. Yeah.
Right. So for me, I've been just trucking away on Revelations still. Sorry guys, nothing new in my world, but I've realized that I better start doing all these extra missions now if I want to beat this fucking game. So I've been working on that recently. Actually picked up some more games.
This is what I talk about with him every day, people. He has a problem where he cannot hyper focus on a singular game.
Shit.
He has to continuously buy more and then play 3 games at once.
Exactly. And you know what? I took Dan's advice. I'm only playing Revelations and Tokyo Extreme Racer Zero. But that's on PS2. But no, I picked up some stuff for PS1 and I couldn't say no. I couldn't. I didn't get to see you the other day on the train, so I couldn't show you in person, but I went into the thrift store that's right by the shop, and the guy in there is a complete dick. He is a fucking dick. I wouldn't even plug his fucking place if you paid me money to. And honestly, it's a fucking disaster in there. You could barely walk around. And he was actually the guy where I got those Atari cartridges from.
Yep.
And I was like, oh, you know what? Let me just see if he has anything. And I walked in, I went right to where he keeps the games, and I started looking, and the first thing I see was a stack of PS1 games. I was like, holy fuck. Started looking through it. I got Tomb Raider, Tomb Raider 2, Tetris Plus, Midway Arcade Classics, something else over there I can't see. But I ended up walking out of there with 6 games more for my collection. And I completed my Tomb Raider collection on PS1. So that was fucking awesome. And I paid like next to nothing for them.
I was gonna say he overcharged you.
Nah.
So why call him a dick for? A guy gave you games and you fucking conned him.
I mean, he gave me a deal, but it's not the deal that I wanted, and I wasn't gonna argue with him because if I didn't buy it, those will end up in the trash eventually. I mean, he's trying to make $1 on everything, but something that I couldn't save out of there, which I might go back this week, was an NES arcade stick for the Nintendo.
Oh yeah.
I saw that it was just rotting away in a fucking bin in his thrift store, and I just like felt bad. Like this is never gonna see the light of day,
Like his John Wick Beagle puppy, his fucking Nintendo arcade stick, people.
Exactly. So I added to the collection. And real quick, I forgot. Next week on the podcast, we're going to be talking about disc rot. That is going to be our first gaming topic, and I'm going to go into full detail on what to look for disc rot, how to keep disc rot away from your games so that you don't cry about it and you don't get into any hissy fit.
Sounds like crotch rot.
Sounds like crotch rot, but worse. Yeah. So, so that's that. And one more thing before we go. I'm sorry.
Number 1, don't live in a sewer.
Yeah, exactly. Don't live in a fucking sewer. Don't throw your shit around the room. No, it's stupid shit like that, but you'll see. But anyway, a misconception on PS1 discs, real quick for our video game listeners. Whoever put it in your head that the green label greatest hits PS1 games aren't worth money or do not hold their value are fucking stupid. There's nothing upstairs in here in their brain, okay? And I'm going to just tell you this like this. It makes sense. The greatest hits of a game they were lucky to have that happen as a re-release. So chances are on that print run there was way less than the original print run, the original Black Label game. So if you have a greatest hits, I wouldn't trade it away. I would hold on to it because the print run was way lower, and you'll never know. It might hold its value later down the road. So that's just a misconception for our viewers out there. And I think that's it, Dan.
Yep, I hear you, dude.
Yeah. So coming out from the best podcast in New York, I'm Jeremy Malaspina, my wonderful friend Dan McCarthy, and co-host. We're signing out.
Peace out, bitches.
Peace, bitches.